And Tony Blair, let me deal with Blair specifically. So obviously you and I opposed the Iraq war. It was a disaster. He lied. It wasn't just a mistake. It was a war crime. Tony Blair should be heading to The Hague, not to Gaza. I wrote a piece for Zeteo laying out the case against Blair being involved in the future of Gaza. People can read it at zeteo.com. I will just be very brief and say this. He has hundreds of thousands of Arabs' blood on his hands. The idea that you would go to Gaza, where Arabs are being killed for the last 2 years, and that Blair, of all people, has any credibility with the Palestinian people. I've not met a single Palestinian who views him as anything other than a war criminal. And even if you put Iraq to one side, you mentioned his Middle East envoy role for the quartet between 2007 and 2015. It was a complete failure. Everyone agrees it was a failure. Go back and read the Financial Times editorial the day he resigned. They said it was a complete failure. He got nothing done. He was seen as just a proxy for the Israelis. He would say whatever the Israelis wanted. And that leads me to my last point. You rightly raised Northern Ireland. The reason he succeeded with Mo Mowlam and Clinton and Jonathan Powell and others in Northern Ireland is because Britain ended up being a fair broker. Both sides could trust them. Of course, both sides had their criticisms, the Unionists and the Sinn Féin side especially. But ultimately, Britain was trying to bring that conflict to an end in a way that involved talking to everyone. They've never applied that logic to the Middle East. Blair doesn't see Palestinians as equal to Israel. He is self-confessed a pro-Israel guy. This is the problem with all Western interventions when it comes to Palestine. They're never neutral brokers. The United States is not an impartial negotiator. To quote Aaron David Miller, a former Clinton negotiator, we are Israel's lawyer. That is what the US is. That is what the West is. That is certainly what Tony Blair is. So yeah, he doesn't have any credibility. And by the way, don't even get me started on the conflicts of interest. The guy makes money from deals every time he's in the Middle East. Him and Jared Kushner have no credibility. They're both making money on side deals in the Middle East while they're trying to bring supposedly peace and redevelopment to Gaza. Zero credibility, Piers. It'll end in tears.